My name is Jared Jammerman. I am a HR representative and recruiting specialist for Sitel. We are a global outsourcing company. In our facility in Asheville, North Carolina, we handle inbound customer service calls for a healthcare provider, a bank, and a credit card company. And we have been using Profiles XT to hire the correct person for the position initially, instead of going through a series of trial and errors in the past. And it's been extremely beneficial for providing quantitative data based on the qualitative ideas we might have had about our target demographic and who the ideal fit for our positions would be. And in the past, one of the difficulties would be when someone from our operations side, which is the management and the supervisors, would have an idea about what would be their ideal person as far as skill set, experience, what have you, is finding, number one, finding that person, and then number two, making it work in the position that they're in. So we would have discussions about that, and while they would have an idea about what would make the perfect person, we really didn't have any data to show why their idea was maybe not right or not all the way right. So having the ability to select top performers, put them through the assessment, and take out our anomalies, sit down with the operations group and identify the performance model for each position and have an agreement on us, gave a way for us to not only have qualitative data but quantitative data with them. And so one of the problems has been HR isn't always a numbers-based business. We know that when we create a sheet that shows attrition or what have you, what happened to give you that number, you know, there's just about enough to squeeze into the Grand Canyon, but what the operations side sees is just that number, how it affects our bottom line, and what we need to do to improve that. So with that, it's almost become a mediator where we can set up a profile, or excuse me, a performance model for each position, and then revisit that later on and say, okay, I think that this part of it is right on, but I think that we're missing the boat by maybe the learning index being too high, and we need to adjust that. And so it gives us a standard, but it also doesn't give us a standard that will outlive its usefulness. It gives us a way to agree on zeroing in demographics-wise and who makes a successful employee without just shooting from the hip or making decisions without forethought about how it impacts us overall. The timing of Profiles XT into our company was great because my boss Jeremy went to the Waco facility and came back very excited, and we made sure he wasn't Branch Davidian, and then from that point it was a curiosity in me for what made him so excited, and the current assessments that we were using were horrible. And so I know that some people are reticent to let go of the current system, but I was like, great, you know, let's try it, let's see how great it is. And you know, all of us went through and took the assessment and then made fun of the other people for their scores on it. I'm just kidding. And from that, though, it really, I think the curiosity piqued in learning more about what the performance model is and how you related to that, and especially the behavioral aspect. And it really helped me to see that in the past, what we would do would be to identify someone's skill set or experience from their application or resume and find out that maybe they weren't entirely truthful. And there really isn't a direct carryover unless you've done our exact position to that. There's reasons why it could be good for you, or there's reasons why it may not be successful, but again, it's theory and it doesn't have a play on your choice of whether it will work or not. Whereas the performance models, we have a direct impact on, okay, you are not able to make decisions at all by yourself. So this specific area may not be the best for you. And one of the ways I've started to see myself in the recruiting role is someone to limit variables. I can't make an absolute placement. I don't feel like the level of hiring that we do is what we're looking to do is exact placement. So my job is to eliminate variables without causing disparate impact or any discrimination. But with this, the amount of variables are extremely limited. And it can also show us things that we can highlight on in the interview. Now, granted, it won't take into place free will and choice. I don't know anything that can, but if you are able to talk about the parts that may be obstacles or maybe opportunities for growth and make sure that that person is aware of that going in, then the buyer's remorse about that position should be much less, if at all. I don't think so at all. I would have to say that our person that we interface, Lisa, is amazing at, if I have an issue, I email her, she gets back to me immediately. The issue is either resolved or there's a reason why something is happening. She follows up with me, and I've not had that type of attention given to something before. And so many of the testing packages we used before were really a off-the-shelf, here you go, if you don't like it, talk to your corporate people and maybe they can do something for you. And so it was really, at first it was almost like a joke, like, why is this person paying so much close attention to us? And with the piloting program, again, I'd been in situations where we were piloting a behavioral piece to add on to a skill piece that we had been, and it was a nightmare, because you talk about having someone come in and do maybe an hour's worth of testing and then answer 150 behavioral based questions and never get to see the results of it. We had a lot of people just get up and walk out, and I didn't have any way to tell them, and I was told that we were collecting information and then we just stopped using it. So we had wasted all those people's time, whereas Profiles has given us the ability to talk to someone immediately and say, here's the thing, you at this current time aren't, in terms of our positions, a great fit here. Here's some things for you to work on and to come back and visit me. You are a great fit for all of our positions here. What are your interests and where are you looking to move with the company? Here is why we're not able to go any further today. Some of the answers you gave were inconsistent throughout, therefore you distorted. Whereas in the past, I would have to say, you didn't meet the criteria, sorry, move on, And so, on top of that, being invited to this conference, I've not ever been to anything like this. I've been to a multi-level marketing conference where everyone was really fake and it was bordering on cultish, but here everyone has such a zest or a poise about them that they're extremely intelligent, they're very good at what they do, they're very charismatic, and it's hard not to come away from this feeling like, wow, this is a great company to work with and work for. And I think you end up being a salesperson sort of on your own and by no motivation by then. But last night was a prime example in the reception. I'd never met the gentleman before that I was talking to, and we ended up talking for I think over an hour just about our experiences and how we saw things. And I don't know that I would have ever had a conversation like that with anyone about work or about anything that I've used. So it was nice to talk to people who are using the same product but in different ways, and how has this worked for you? And in that specific instance, he was someone very new in the process, and so I felt like I could say, listen, here's some of the things you're probably going to get stressed or frustrated about. Be aware that it does make up for it in the end, and I think that what you're doing is excellent. I think your concerns are certainly justified, but here's how it worked out in our specific area. So that was very interesting.